All right, guys, we're going to start our 3 p.m. panel, Console versus PC, the growth of mobile gaming and interactive 3D. First, joining me on stage is Sherlana. Let's have her come up. Next, we've got Josh Madia with SixFoot. And if you haven't tried Dreadnought, go to the back area with the free game PCs and try Dreadnought for sure. And then next we have Patrick Neff with the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation. Join us on stage. And then we have Trent Knox with the Esports Business Network. Trent, join us up on stage. And then we've got Scott Richey, a game developer, who I'm excited to introduce to you guys and let him talk to you about what he does. So Scott, join us up on stage. All right, thank you guys for joining us. Oh, we need one.
We ran out of
more AV.
Here, we want you to share a mic here. Here, we can share mics. Give him yours and we'll share.
Gonna share some microphones. All right, guys, so first we're gonna kick this off by letting each of you introduce yourself. So Sherlana, I'll let you go first.
Hey guys, my name is Sherlana. I am a TV host, gamer. Call of Duty is my jam. As well as an entertainer, I sing, and I'm a songwriter.
Awesome, and Patrick, you're next.
Howdy, my name is Patrick Neff. I am the Director of Gaming for the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation, a nonprofit for middle and high school esports here in Texas.
Hi,
Awesome,
I'm Josh Madia. I'm a video game producer with SixFoot, a local game production company.
Hello, my name is Trent Knox. I am the founder of Esports Business Network. It's a podcast and community online at ebn.gg.
Nice. Scott Richey. I solo built a 3D open world adventure game, released it on Steam by myself. I've been in games for a long time, YouTube and all those things, but it's been quite the experience.
Awesome, well let's kick this off with talking about console versus PC. Tell me which one's your favorite and, you know, some advantages and disadvantages of that. We'll kick it off with you, Sherlana.
Well, I have been playing console gaming, I don't know, since I was a little kid. I remember getting Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, Sega VR, Nintendo, so definitely a huge console player. My favorite console to play with is the PS5. Although I do, depending on the game, I'll play Xbox, Gears of War, I love the Wii. I'm still a Wii user. And of course the Switch. So it really just depends. I really prefer, personally, console over PC. I think it's just got this nostalgia about it. I really enjoy, I'm really a big user of the controller, so versus the mouse to play with. So definitely my preference would be using the console. And I think there are, of course, advantages and disadvantages to both. PC's got some very good PC-based games. So there's definitely, depending on the type of games that you like to play, there's obviously advantages to playing with PC versus console, but my personal preference is definitely the console.
Awesome. Patrick, you're next. Advantages, disadvantages, differences, console versus PC.
I mean, I'm going to start off with, I'm a PC gamer. That is my, I'm not saying we're better than console gamers.
PC Master Race.
But I'm not saying we're not. No, I love both. I am a PC gamer first and foremost, but I agree with the nostalgia. You know, my first system was an Atari 2600. I love consoles, and you're never going to have a console that has issues with can it run the game or not. PCs are great. They have their advantages. You can get the highest level quality out of a game. You can see those like super crisp visuals, all that kind of stuff. But if I buy a game for my console, I can throw it into my Xbox or my PlayStation, and I know it's going to work. I know it's going to play. Not counting a Red Ring of Death. But so I think both have their advantages. Consoles are just, they're easier to get into. They're cheaper. The maintenance is easier. So they definitely have their advantages. And for a lot of players, that's their first entry into gaming. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Same question to you, Josh.
So I've played console since Pong, and I've played PC since DOS. So I've grown up with both. I would consider myself on a desert island. I would choose a PC just because it can do any and everything. But when it comes to first-person shooter games, strategy games, PC's the superior experience. But consoles provide what I call the couch experience, and some of the most fun I've had playing games is taking turns with a controller in front of a couch, or even watching somebody else play a game. And I'm pre-Twitch age, so that was on the couch with console. So I definitely have a strong attachment to console experiences.
Trent, same question to you. Console versus PC, favorites, disadvantages, insights?
I'm the one who said PC Master Race. My difficulty with consoles right now is that every single time someone has to start their console, there's some update that's occurring that prevents you from playing for another 3 to 4 hours. If you're a PC gamer, regularly you have your PC running, and you have whatever game you're playing updating in the background actively as you're doing your work or you're doing your schoolwork or whatever it may be. I grew up as a console gamer playing Madden, Call of Duty, FIFA, NBA 2K, all these different IPs, from sports to casual games, Fable, Skyrim and whatnot. But in the esports realm, I was just having this conversation off mic, that the fact that even the games that are primarily played on console are moving towards PC play, but adopting whatever controller or interface that you want to use personally.
Awesome. And Scott Richey, same question for you. Console, PC, favorites, disadvantages?
All right, listen, I think we can all agree that PC is way better than console, right?
Second.
Console's got some great things happening, but the PC is where it's at, right? You can make your computer way as good as you want, right? And then you got all these indie developers creating games left and right. You can never get that on console. I'm just saying. Console's got its benefits. As like a kid, like you're saying, it's inexpensive, but if you really get into it, I think the PC is going to be the dominant force for years to come. There's so many updates, that their PC is just the sky's the limit, right? That's my take on it.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into talking about the growth of mobile gaming and interactive 3D. Sherlana, I know you have some experience with Call of Duty on the mobile phone.
Yes.
With mobile devices, everyone's got them, everyone's looking at them, and most of the time we're playing games. I'm going to go ahead and play one right now. I'm just kidding. But talk to us about your experience on mobile gaming and your love for that.
I love mobile gaming, especially when you're traveling or you're very busy. It's really easy to pick up your phone and just play a game. Actually, I did play in the Call of Duty Mobile Championships, so definitely well-versed in terms of playing on the mobile phone. And there's definitely advantages. I think it's accessible to everybody. It allows for just about anybody. Everybody has a phone, so anybody can just pick up and download a game and be able to play it, which I think is definitely one of the reasons why mobile gaming is going to, you're going to see a definite increase in the future of more and more users playing with mobile phones. With Call of Duty Mobile, it's actually, if you're a beginner, I would suggest downloading the game and playing on your mobile phone, because it's a lot easier to maneuver than, let's say, on a console or a PC. So if you're just starting out, I think the mobile gaming experience is something you would enjoy. And one of the reasons why I can see mobile gaming really boosting and increasing in years to come.
Mobile gaming is getting to be a bigger and bigger market all the time.
It is.
And Patrick, same question to you.
I think that the biggest indicator to me that mobile gaming is huge is how many more games are showing up on mobile platforms, right? League of Legends releases Wild Rift. It's one of the biggest games in the world, and they want to get into the mobile market. Fortnite, you can play on any device, including mobile. So it really democratizes the gaming experience because everybody's carrying around a device that can play mobile. You'll sometimes hear people kind of look down on mobile gaming because, oh, it's not real gaming. But if you're having fun and you're getting something out of it, then I would argue it's gaming. So I love mobile gaming. It's great when you've got 20 minutes. I actually love the whole platform of Wild Rift because when you're playing League, you've got to sit down and dedicate 30 minutes to an hour to a game, and half of that game might be somebody on your team quit and it's just slowly losing and it's garbage. Games like Wild Rift, they're faster. You get to play the whole experience in a shorter time period. You look at during lockdown, Among Us blew up and you could play with people anywhere, and it's a 10-minute game. You get to have a good time and then you get to move on. I love in-depth, long games. I still play way too much League, but there's something to be said for that fast experience where you can have a good time for a little bit and then move on. And I think that's one of the best things about mobile gaming.
Awesome. And Josh, same question to you.
Yeah, I would agree. I probably, candidly speaking, probably put mobile last on the list in terms of my favorite game experiences, but I can also say that I spend more time on mobile games. And I think that's a testament to, mobile's it's like a deck of cards in your pocket. You can play it anytime you find time. And I think it's important that we understand that and we don't compare each other too harshly, because mobile is serving a different purpose than a console or a PC.
Awesome. And is 6Foot working on any mobile games? Got anything in the pipeline? Are we going to see Dreadnought some more?
We are resistant to making mobile games, but it is something that we consider all the time, because all the time I spend playing mobile games.
Awesome. Well, we love you guys over at 6Foot. And Trent, same question to you.
Yeah, from the standpoint of esports, from the competitive side, Esports Business Network has collaborated with multiple third world countries that have more accessibility to smartphones than they do have PC and consoles. In the Philippines, India, South America, and supported their streaming efforts and whatnot. Mobile gaming is much more accessible, like I said earlier, and Free Fire, Mobile Legends, some of the games that aren't directly developed by the big three, when we're talking about Epic, Riot, and Blizzard, they're able to not necessarily bring together the largest prize pools, but they're able to bring together prize pools that actually make a social impact and an economic impact in countries where otherwise they wouldn't have the opportunity to be in esports. But that being said, Call of Duty Mobile is at this point has a $2.5 million prize pool, I believe, or something like that, and offers the opportunity for a lot of people to basically level up in whatever socioeconomic impact that they're experiencing that won't provide them the opportunity to have a console or a PC.
That's awesome. And Scott, same question to you. Is the game that you developed just a PC game? And then talk about some of your experience with mobile gaming.
All right, so probably I would think the biggest benefit with mobile gaming is probably from the developer side. You've got all these people going to college, going to dev schools, and the mobile network is probably a little more accessible. You got apps, you got education going on. You look at the future of specifically mobile from the developer point of view. You've got all these kids going into college, learning how to code, learning C#, learning JavaScript, and you're going to be able to use those things probably in mobile gaming. I mean, I know people that have built games, they have thousands of downloads, right? And probably a bigger part of even developing mobile games is you got to learn how to do the marketing side too. If you're kind of gonna get into that, you got to promote your game too. I mean, people think this is from like the developer side, not like AAA mobile entertainment, but you got to be able to do the marketing yourself too from an indie side, right? You got to learn all the skills, learn some web development, not just how to build the games, designing the games. Maybe you just want to go into the art, maybe just like graphic design. and that's a big industry. You could just go to college, learn graphic design, 2D animation for 2D games, right? I mean, 2D is like all mobile, basically. There's like some top-down versions and some other things, but there's a lot of jobs available in that area.
So, Scott, what's a piece of advice you would give someone that's wanting to be a game developer or become more involved in that particular aspect of this industry?
Right, no, it's a big question, because you can go a lot of different directions. You can go on your own, but you got to have a lot of skills. You got to learn it on your own. I'd probably suggest finding a regular job doing, if it's not in gaming, just anywhere, learning a lot on your own, because that's what people do these days. You go learn on like Udemy, right? You go on Udemy, you learn a course. I just took a Google Ads course. I do marketing for a living too, and you take these courses online. You can learn coding on your own. But the biggest thing is probably you go to college, you learn C#, you learn the coding languages or C++ or something, so you can get a good foundation to get you going. If it's not in coding, you can go the design route. You don't even have to learn really any coding it helps, but you could just do design work, 3D art, go and learn Maya or learn how to use Blender to start, right? Like free. Or go learn Photoshop to get some background, make some textures, for your game. There's a lot of different things you can learn.
And Trent, same question to you. What's a piece of advice you'd give someone that was wanting to get into this industry, perhaps become a game developer or become a streamer?
Yeah, so I second what he said about transferable skills. If you can develop those on the job training or OTJ, then you can kind of build on to other things that would be your passion. With the streaming aspect, it helps to be a viewer. If you can see the processes that the current streamers are going through and then adapt to the marketability that they've created through their design assets and things like that. Of course, the tools are going to take some time to learn, whether that be other broadcasting software, XSplit, or Streamlabs or Stream Elements, whatever you use to create the community aspect and the engagement on the streamer side. When it comes to working for direct esports, meaning competitive esports, or subsegments of collegiate and educational or even recreational aspect, in that aspect you have to be assertive in ways that a lot of gamers aren't, because they're often introverted and play solo or play casual games that aren't directly community based in the sense of like competitive gaming, like sports games, of 5v5 MOBAs like Mobile Legends on the mobile, or Dota 2, which is Dota 2 is the largest prize pool for esports in the world with the international. You just had to put yourself out there, and you have to go and get it. You can't let it just come to you. It's just, you have to build a portfolio, and that's how the process works. It's how it happens.
To go out there and grab those opportunities. And
Yeah,
Josh,
absolutely.
same question to you. With you being a big game developer company, what's a piece of advice that you would give to someone that either wanted to work for a game developing company or if they wanted to start their own video game?
So I agree with Scott, and it's a big question. I think I heard Sam Raimi, the film director, said when he asked questions, people say, how do you get into making movies? His answer was always just make movies. And I do think there's a part of if you love and play games, there's enough tools out there, you can go out there to make games. And for very specific advice, if you can get access to Roblox is a really good way to make games because it provides a lot of ways to play those games as well. You can share them with your friends and family. If you want to get a job in games, it's important to know that you don't necessarily even have to love games to find a job in games. You have to be really good at solving problems that games need to solve. And that goes back to figuring out what those are and start solving those problems, because whatever job interview you can get, the interview is going to ask you how you would solve problems. And having those stories to tell are key, whether you get those stories in a school or whether you get them in a garage or whether you get them from working somewhere else. I would say collect as many of those as possible.
And Patrick, piece of advice you would give someone if someone approached the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation is like, hey, I want to develop a game, or I want to develop a mobile game. What's some advice that you would give them?
So I'm going to come at this from a teacher perspective because it's the only one I've got. So occasionally you have those all-in-one, I do everything developers. But probably the biggest lesson I think that kids need to learn is that in any given game design, especially if you look at the AAA games, there's 150 people working on the game, and all of them have a specialty, something that they do very well. And you don't have to know every aspect of game design to be able to be involved. There's a very unique type of creative writing that goes into the dialogue in games that you don't do anywhere else. And so just, if that's your thing, if you love writing, work on that. If you are a programmer and that's your background, C+ and C# were mentioned, but any kind of coding, learning the logic that underpins it, you can transfer that to another language. There may be some steps involved, but whatever it is that you're interested in, take that and run with it. You don't have to know how to do everything. And yeah, there's Notch out there that makes Minecraft and it blows up and it's billions of dollars and goes over to Microsoft, and most people, that's not how it works. You learn your skill set, you develop it, and you go and do the thing you're good at. And so whatever that passion is, whatever that thing is, figure it out and then apply yourself to that thing. And that's, to me, that's the best thing you can do if this is really what you want to pursue.
Awesome. And Sherlana, with you being a popular streamer and your love for mobile devices, if someone came to you and said, hey, I want to be a streamer, but I only want to do mobile, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
I think mobile gaming is definitely going to be the way of the future, to be honest with you. I think it exposes you to a larger network of individuals than, let's say, for example, the console versus PC battle. Everybody has a mobile phone. In general, most people have some kind of game downloaded, so you're genuinely exposed to a larger network of people in mobile gaming. So my advice to individuals is just play. Go out there, enjoy yourself. I think oftentimes especially when you are playing competitively and things like that, you tend to get so worked up on your numbers and stuff like that, you forget to have fun. But gaming is supposed to be fun, and I think mobile gaming in particular is really easy to play. You can pick it up, you can use it anywhere, so to speak. So I think just have fun with it. At the end of the game, it is just a game, and you're supposed to love it. So, and also, I think that my advice to new gamers would be something along the lines of be confident in your skill set, and it's okay to be unique and to accept your own unique features and to promote that as well. I was actually talking to a lady earlier who was just getting into streaming and giving her some advice, and I was explaining to her that especially as a female gamer, we don't have that issue that much in mobile gaming, but in Call of Duty, for example, Call of Duty Mobile, you can use mics and stuff like that in the mobile gaming settings. And oftentimes that exposes you to toxicity and things like that. So I think just being vocal and setting, similar to the panel that we had on ethical codes, if as gamers we start to establish an ethical code amongst all different platforms, whether that's mobile, PC, or console, we can make the gaming experience better for everybody.
Totally agree. And Scott, why don't you take a minute to tell us about the game you developed, how you got that done as an individual and launching that yourself, and how somebody that might want to do the same thing. So first tell us about the game, what it is, the name of it, and how people can find it.
All right, so the game I built it's called Ruction, the Golden Tablet. It's on Steam. You can go and download it. Come up to me, I'll give you a free code. Just give me your email or something if you want. It's a 3D open world game where you embark on an adventure looking for clues that lead to your lost brother in a jungle environment. And along the way you discover the mystery of the Golden Tablet. And I probably put maybe 3,000 hours into building it. in about a year. So you can go to my YouTube channel, just type in Ruction, the Golden Tablet, into Google. It's all over the place. You can find it. And so that game, I mean, everything from, okay, let me back up. So when I started, I didn't have any experience in game building, right? I used like Game Guru for 5 minutes, and then I started out building this game. I basically broke the entire thing when I first started. I didn't know anything. I did some web design. For my job, I do web, and I do like a lot of marketing. And so I didn't have any experience when I started, right? But we're talking thousands of hours later, you get to know Unity, and I built it in Unity. Has anybody used Unity out there? Unity, love it, right? It's like Unreal Engine, Unity game engine. I recommend using Unity. Probably the biggest thing I love about Unity is that they have an asset store. I don't know if Unreal does or not. They probably do. But you can purchase assets. You can get developers to help you. They have a forum. Anyway, but the game basically is you go around and explore the world. You do quests. You collect items. You kind of navigate around. It's like World of Warcraft, but there's no fighting. You don't fight anyone. Originally, in these designs, you start these games and you're like, I have this big idea. I want to like do all this stuff. And I did. I had this big idea, and I probably accomplished some of it. You want these games to like be multiplayer, and you want them to like you want to be a shooter or something. But in the end, you're like, wow, I'm just trying to do like one thing at a time. I think I spent like 6 hours one time trying to get my character to climb up a ladder, right? And when Patrick's talking about problem solving, he could not be more right. Like like if you're getting into game development, probably the biggest part of game development is solving problems. Like you just sit there and you think about how you're gonna go about it. Like so much time sitting there thinking, you're like, how do I want to do this? And you ask other developers, well, what's the best way to go about this? And they're kind of like, well, it depends on your game. You know, I said, well, how do you play test? What's your best way to go about play testing? And the conclusion was, well, it depends on your game. Like it's however you want to do it, you know. And me personally, I'm probably pretty unique when, you know, we're talking about, and my game, it's no AAA title. I just throw that out there. It's not a AAA title. I built it myself, right? But it is possible to start with no experience if you want to put in the effort and the work. The biggest thing is probably you need time. You need a lot of time to do it. And you probably need some reserved money, like some money that you've got in your back pocket, because you can't just work on it full time and not make money. That's just the reality. Like you've got to, you need to survive somehow, right? I mean, I gave like a 2-hour presentation one time, so we could go on forever talking about this, but I loved, the biggest part that I loved was probably problem solving and building the world. If you go and play my game, the world is, it's elaborate, it's awesome. I love it. Of course, so on my YouTube channel, to be totally honest about this, like some people are saying, this is the worst game ever, you have no idea what you're doing. And then other people are saying, this is so amazing, like it's incredible that you accomplished yourself. Literally, I mean, that's YouTube anyway, right? You get ripped to shreds and then people love you. It's like both. So, I mean, you can go and look at my YouTube channel. I went through the game and a lot of the development side of it. I mean, it's a small channel with less than 10,000 subscribers, right? You can go and check it out. But there's a lot of good education there. You can learn about the processes I went through to developing the game overall.
Awesome. It's like you open the door in the game and you keep falling to the floor, keep falling through the map.
Yes.
You spend like 2,000 hours trying to fix that. It's like, and then you realize it's just one simple little thing over there, or it could be a bigger thing, you know?
You like think you're done, and then all of a sudden you've got 6 more months of work.
Exactly.
The problem with trying to idiot-proof something is idiots are really creative.
Come up with creative solutions. You have to be a problem solver. So, Josh, let's jump over to you. Over there in the free PC game zone, we have 3 of your games preloaded on all of the computers. We have Dreadnought, we have Rhyme, and we also have Grey Goo.
Grey Goo, yes.
And so would you like to tell everybody a little bit about each game and what they can experience over there in the free game zone?
Sure. So I'll start with Grey Goo. Grey Goo is a real-time strategy game, which is like playing chess, but you don't take turns. It's science fiction based. You build an army. Your opponent's building an army as well, and then you go to fight each other. You can play it back there. Our next game is Dreadnought. Dreadnought is a capital ship battle MOBA arena. So it's 8v8. You go on a team of 7 other ships, and you work to destroy the other 8 ships on the other side. And it's a lot of fun. And our third game is Rhyme, and Rhyme is a single-player puzzle adventure game where you're a boy that wakes up on an island, and you have to explore the island to figure out what you need to do. And it's a lot more laid back, but it's no less challenging, and it's available to play back there as well.
I really love Dreadnought, and congratulations on the work. I know you guys have put a lot of work into Dreadnought, and I love that you gave our attendees an opportunity to play it for free and really experience Dreadnought. You guys are giving out merch over there. Y'all had cups and posters, so I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being part of our event this year and giving the opportunity for everyone to play those for free. And like I said, I'm a huge lover of Dreadnought. If you guys haven't checked it out, you need to go over there and check it out. So I think we'll wrap up this panel with letting you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and where they can also find your company as well. And Sherlana, we'll start with you.
You can find me online at Twitter at Sherlana W, on Instagram at official Sherlana, YouTube Sherlana, as well as I'm on TikTok, I'm on Beagle Live, I'm on YouTube, got Facebook Gaming. I'm also, if you want to also check me out, I have a television show that I host every Saturday mornings called Music Biz TV that airs at 10:30 in the morning. So you can check your local listings for that. And before I go, I just want to say thank you, Johnny, for having me on these panels this weekend. I really appreciate the opportunity to, as a female gamer, to share the stage with some of these guys.
Hey, we need more females in every. I'll say it again for the 15th time. We need more females in gaming. We need more female game developers, astronauts, engineers, robotics instructors. So we love having you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And then Patrick, let's jump over to you. Tell people where they can find out more information about TechSef.
Sure. You can find us at techsef.org. That's TEXSEF, Texas Scholastic Esports Federation. All of our social media is also at TechSef, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Not that there's anything on there. But find us on social media. We also have a Twitch channel, which should be kicking back in a week or so with our seasons kicking off, and you can watch some of our students across Texas play Rocket League and Smite, and that's TechSef1, the number 1, not the word. So yeah, come check us out.
Josh, tell everyone where they can find SixFoot, more information about you and the games that you've developed.
Oh, sure. So probably the easiest way is to go to SixFoot's website, which is the number 6ft.com. And you'll find links to all of our games. And our games are available, all of them are on Steam, but some of them are also on PlayStation and Xbox as well, and Nintendo. And
awesome.
You can find your platform there. And I'll be over at the Dreadnought SixFoot booth over there, so if you want to come give me a chat, I'm happy to talk to you and give you my email address.
Awesome. And Trent, before you tell everyone where they can find you online, tell us a little bit about the Esports Business Network and what you guys do and your mission, goals, and objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. So our goals and objectives are to help more people get into the esports industry as a professional and have a career that they feel is meaningful, whether that be from a part-time position to a full-time position, running their own tournament operations, or even pursuing a collegiate opportunity through something like TechSef or something like that. And with Esports Business Network, as a community member, you can gain access to a lot of other tools that aren't necessarily available on a communication level for people to network within the esports industry. And you can go to ebn.gg to see all the Esports Business Network's assets, including the podcast, which is where I host the podcast, interviewing different guests from all different levels, from grassroots to tier 1, organizations within the esports industry. And also, if you check us out on social media, it's Esports Business Network, except on Twitter where the characters are too long. So it's Esports BizNet at Esports BizNet.
So it doesn't matter if you love video games, if you're a professional player, if you're a game developer, everybody can be part of the Esports Business Network.
Absolutely, and I'll be hosting a panel upcoming in Dallas, and that's going to be on that specifically, from esports enthusiasts to professional esports.
And I'm glad you mentioned the podcast, which you had us on, and I wanted to give you a shout out and a special thank you for having Mary Jo Nashke and I on your podcast. That was fun. You're a great interview. You're a fun time, and you ask all the right questions. I love it.
Absolutely, and also thank you for inviting me to come speak at the Galveston Island Esports Summit. It was great to have you on the podcast.
Awesome. Well, we enjoy having you here. And then, Scott, if you could tell everybody where they can find out more information about you and your game, and where they can find you on social media as well.
All right, so, and let me put a plug in. Before I built this game, I sold game guides when I was in college, and I sold like thousands of them. So you don't even have to really build a game to make money in the gaming industry. I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and I wrote guides, and I sold like thousands of them all over the world, like thousands. And that's how I'd made money to pay for college, some of it, right? But anyway, my game, and so you don't have to just build a game to make money in games. You can do other stuff. Like I learned web design, and then I wrote these guides. I used my writing skills that I learned, and I sold things like that, right? So you don't have to just stream, or you build a YouTube channel, or like build a game. Like if you like games, there's plenty of ways, you know. So my game, you can go to ructiongames.com, or you can go to my YouTube channel. You could just type it in. Just don't go to like the guys that are hating on it. You don't want to watch those. There's a lot of them. There's a few. But go to ructiongames.com, just Google it, or just go to the website, and then you can message me through there. I'll give you a free code. Just message me. You should go to my YouTube channel. It's like youtube.com/Shikauta Warrior. That was it's all about my game now, though, so I switched over.
Awesome, Scott. So what do you think about preloading your game on some of these computers next year and giving everyone an opportunity to sit down and play it here? We should do a little something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty chill. It's a chill game, and like it's no like shoot 'em up. That was my original idea, but after it got complicated, that was X-nayed out of there, you know.
Awesome. So I guess you just heard it here. Look for Scott to be here next year, and some awesome stuff to happen with that. So, well, thank you to all of our panelists. You guys are all fantastic. And every one of the people up here, you can meet in the booth areas. They all have booths here. You can ask them questions if you want to know how to get more into the industry, or how you can get help in this industry. So give a round of applause to all of our panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, now let's go play some games.